Alright, so this video is talking about writing proofs. Proofs are used in mathematics to show justification for a hypothesis. So in advanced mathematics, proofs can span several pages and can be very, very complicated and use really advanced formulas. But we are not starting there. What we are starting with is just proofs on congruent triangles. We're talking maybe half a page at the most, and that's because there's a picture involved. So let me show you how it works. We're going to be using definition and properties of things that we already know. Things like the midpoint splits a line in half, vertical angles are congruent, alternate interior angles are congruent, properties of parallel lines, things like that, stuff we have already discussed. Alright, so there are two types of proofs, paragraph and two-column proofs. We're going to be only using two-column proofs. Paragraph proofs are what they sound like, just a paragraph that shows the proofs. So to set up a two-column proof, we're going to draw a great big T underneath our picture or on the paper or wherever we're setting up our proof, and we're going to write statements on one side and reasons on the other. And it's exactly what it sounds like. We're going to make statements about what we're seeing in the picture or what information we've been given and reasons why we know those statements are true. So let's do an example. And know that proofs are nothing more than just showing all the reasons that you know the two triangles are congruent. Really, writing a proof is showing how to be good at arguing, really. You're proving your point without a shadow of a doubt. So here's an example. We've got these two triangles. They're connected at point E. It says it's giving you that angle A and angle C are congruent, and it's also giving you that point E is the midpoint of the line AC. And then it tells you, prove that triangle ABE is congruent to triangle CDE. So how do we start this? Well, before I even start a proof, I draw in any congruence marks that aren't there. So angle A and angle C are congruent. Those marks are already there. Point E is the midpoint of AC. Every piece of information that you're given in a proof, you need to figure out a way to use. Otherwise, there's no reason for them to give it to you. So what's the reason here? Well, if E is a midpoint, then AE has to be congruent to EC. So I'm going to draw in my congruence marks right here. Alright, this wouldn't be enough to show that this triangle is congruent to that one. However, the way these triangles are connected, I have a set of vertical angles right here, so I know I can draw my congruence marks there. Now, if you're drawing congruence marks and you have a reason why you drew those congruence marks, you can write the proof, because all it's asking for is what's congruent and why are they congruent. So to write the proof, we draw that great big T, we put our words statement and reason, and then it says we start by writing the given information. So the first piece of given information is angle A is congruent to angle C. That information is given. Then it says E is the midpoint of AC. That information is given. So you start by writing all the given information. That way you can use it. Okay, next we're going to use the given info to describe where you drew the congruence marks and explain why you drew them. So the next mark I made was that line AE is congruent to EC. And the reason I was able to draw those two marks in is the definition of midpoint. Because I know this is a midpoint, I know these two are congruent. And all it's looking for is just definition of midpoint. Okay? The other congruence marks I drew was that angle AEB, and you've got to be specific, is congruent to angle CED. Why? Because they were vertical angles, and the definition of vertical angles says that they're congruent. So as I look over my proof, I have an angle, I have a side, and I have an angle. So I know that triangle ABE is congruent to triangle CDE by angle, side, angle. So once we've identified the parts needed for the postulates, you've proven what you're asked to prove, finish the proof with the statement that you were asked to prove. And tomorrow I'm going to give you a sheet of helpful hints, things that are often used in proofs. So that'll help you out too. That's it for tonight.